They said she passed peacefully, but the birds stopped singing, and the river reversed its flow that night. Now no one speaks her name aloud, but someone must remember her, because her grave refuses to stay closed. They say she died on the last night of the dry season, when the moon was whole and the trees had forgotten how to sway. It was a quiet death, they claimed, peaceful even, but no one tells that part with conviction. Because in that village, Obadu, where silence weighs heavier than thunder, peace is never truly silent. Her name was Muna, and though her bones now rest somewhere between the river's bend and the forbidden grove, the wind still whispers her story. She was the healer, the keeper of herbs and songs, the one whose touch could lower a fever, whose prayers could bind a wound tighter than any stitch. But she was also something else, something older than the trees, deeper than the wells they drank from. Children were warned not to look her in the eyes for too long. Elders bowed when they passed her gate, and when Muna walked to the market, the air turned cool around her, even on the hottest day. They called her Mama of the Hills, though she had no child. Some said she once bore one, but he was taken by the spirits before he could cry. Others believed she was one of them, the spirits, and had only borrowed a human body for a while. What is known for certain is this: the night she died, the river stopped flowing. It began with the birds. That morning, not a single one chirped. The village, usually loud with flapping wings and squawks, was silent. Then the dogs howled at noon, all at once. A chorus of mourning. The sun sat high, unmoving, for hours, and when it finally dipped, it did so like a stone falling into a pit. Muna lay in her hut, wrapped in palm fronds and red cloth, her eyes closed, her lips curved in the faintest smile. There were no signs of struggle, no sickness. She had simply decided, it seemed, that she was finished here. The villagers gathered, even those who feared her. Her hut, once avoided, became the center of a funeral the likes of which Obadu had never known. Drums played, low and slow. Women wept. Men dug. The grave was deep, and they lined it with salt, as tradition demanded for someone like her. But what happened next is where the story truly begins. The grave was sealed before midnight. No one dared stay near it. Not even the bravest boy, Kojo, who once plucked a fruit from the cursed tree and lived. Everyone returned to their huts, bolted their doors, and prayed to the gods of dust and silence. By morning, the grave was open, not disturbed, not dug up, open, as if the earth had gently unwrapped itself, like a mother lifting the blanket from a sleeping child. But Muna's body was gone. In her place was a bundle, wrapped in red, and inside it a baby no more than a day old, crying, wailing. But it was the kind of cry that silenced the world. Elders stood around the grave, their mouths hanging open. Some whispered that Muna had given birth after death. Others said the baby was the spirit of her stolen child, returned. No one touched it. No one dared. The baby vanished that same night. Not taken, not stolen, vanished. And with it, the wind changed direction. Days passed, then weeks. Strange things began to happen. Fires wouldn't light unless a song was sung. Shadows moved when no one walked. Children woke, speaking in languages they had never heard. One by one, the elders died, not in pain, not violently, just fell asleep and never rose again. Only one remained, Nana Ebel, the oldest woman in the village. She had known Muna since they were girls. She was the one who told the truth. Muna was never ours, she said, sitting beside her own grave one evening. She came from beneath the roots, where the old gods sleep. We begged her to stay, to help us, and she did, but only for a time. They asked why she died then. She didn't, Nana whispered. You cannot bury what was never born. That night, Nana died too. Her grave opened the next day, but no baby lay inside, only a handprint, small, clawed, pressed deep into the earth. Then came the fires. Huts burned without heat. Clay pots exploded with whispers. The river turned black, then red, and each night a voice sang from the hills. It was not mournful. It was not angry. It was remembering. Villagers began to flee. Obadu emptied. Only a few stayed behind, those who had nowhere else to go, or who loved the land more than their own breath. Among them was Kojo, now a man, and his wife, Naya, who was pregnant. They lived far from the village square, near the edge of the grove where Muna used to gather herbs. Kojo believed the stories were only that, stories, until one night Naya woke him, trembling. "She's outside." He rose, spear in hand, but what he saw made him drop it. Muna stood beneath the tree. Same red cloth, same curved smile, but her feet didn't touch the ground. And behind her, a child, shadowy, flickering, held her hand. "You forgot," she whispered. Kojo fell to his knees. Naya screamed. The wind held, but Muna didn't move. "Tell them my name," she said. "That is all." And just like that, she was gone. The next morning, Naya gave birth, a healthy girl, but the child would not open her eyes, not for 3 days. When she finally did, her pupils were gold, and her first word was Muna. That child lives still, they say, somewhere far from Obadu, which is now no more than ash and legend. Her name is Nia. She heals with songs, and the wind follows her, but she never smiles, and no one dares ask why.